God bless everyone out there in Radio Land and Internet world. This is Barry and Karen coming to you from Embrace Marriage Ministries on Twitch TV, Embrace Gaming. And so we thank God for you joining us. We're just going to be doing a little bit of talking tonight. Hopefully we won't be too long, but we're going to try to be as brief as possible. Originally, though, we took so long getting ready that we really didn't expect to take that long. So what we actually we're going to talk about today was godly relationships, but we probably don't do that on tomorrow. But we're just going to just share with you just probably a little bit of intro into it. Just talk a little bit about relationships. Kind of do. My wife says a thing that she says she wanted to kind of do. We'll probably talk a little bit about that, and then we'll go into the rest of it. So, hello, wife.
Hello, how are you?
So we are here once again. I know it's been a little bit. This is we see our official shirts now, and we had the other ones. If you look at the other stream, we only got two colors, two of them now, but we'll be making more of them, and these are the ministry. This is for our ministry. This is actually our podcast. This is the marriage one, which is on top, which is Embrace Marriage Together. It's supposed to be embracing, but we couldn't get that many words in there.
And this was supposed to be what the dare.
Yeah, it's
there
to
so
be different.
Yeah.
D2 BD, yeah, they see it.
Like this.
Yeah. So the KC and BC it was the guy that did it. He put it on there so that if we ever decided that we're going to come back, we could get them done. And so we tend to do it, but I ain't gonna do it. So I was gonna move the camera. But anyway, we're good. But thank God for you that's joining us, those that are joining us on Mixer, on Periscope, also on Twitch, and where else we are. Yeah, Twitch, Periscope, and Mixer, and
YouTube.
And no, YouTube. Well, yeah, you'll be looking if you're looking at this on YouTube. It's uploaded on YouTube, but we're not streaming on YouTube anymore because we don't do too many. We had issues with stream, so we don't stream on YouTube and Facebook Live. We thank God for you. So, consideration.
Yes.
One of the most important things in a godly relationship is consideration. Right. Being considerate of others. The word tells us about it in Romans 12. It talks about how you have to not to hang with people that are high-minded, but dwell with those of low estate. Hey, how's it going? And thank you for joining us, Fancy Mug Kip. And so what we to have the type of relationship this year, and this is the reason why we go into this. In this year, it'd be good for us, all of us, to have the right partnerships and right relationships if you want to succeed. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that if you hook up with the wrong kind of people, you'll end up in the wrong places, or things don't work out as well if you're in the wrong partnerships. To give you an example of that, when we have give you an example of that, then we'll get into the part of consideration. And back in the day, me and a good friend of mine, he's actually a pastor now, and he's out in another state, but he was living here. Had just met him, gentleman. He was married to another lady who we knew, but both know, and there were a couple, and they was around us in the church. It was a new young couple, and they weren't working, and they were recovering from drugs and stuff like that. Well, our spiritual father took them in, and so they had been with him for a little while, and so he decided that he was going to take upon himself to do something, because he couldn't find a job. I think I don't know if he had just got out of jail or something like that. He couldn't find a job some kind of way. They had just moved from down there, and he couldn't find work, so he decided to make his own hustle. He started washing cars.
Right.
So he did that for a while, and he teamed up. My spiritual father actually opened up a car wash. My spiritual father had all kind of businesses, man. He done had a radio station. He had a car wash. He had a car lot one time. I think he was on a car lot with a guy, and oh man, Dad had all kind of stuff. But with this one thing, he owned this one, and he had people working for him, and it was not hard because he had people in the church that had experience, so he had them working for him, and they paying them because they was doing pretty good because God was good. But the only issue, he was just recovering addict, so of course he still had this addict game, and he was doing stuff, and so he had went to the seminar, whatever it was, and it was some kind of seminar for a website, and it was supposed to be an e-commerce thing, and I told my wife about it, and she was, at that time she was like, she wasn't risky. She's still not. I mean, she's the one that kind of pulls the reins on me to make the decision and think about what I'm doing, to not to just jump into anything real fast,
Yeah.
So at the time she was like, I don't know. So we had the money to invest in, and I think it was like, well, he told me how much it was now, and of course I was the only one had money, so I was the
exactly.
Yeah, I was
You financed it.
Yeah, I financed it basically because I was the greatest partner of the two. And basically not only that I financed, and I was on other person had the computer skill to do it, but the thing that they had got, the kit, we got this whole kit and whatever, and it made no sense. I was like, how in the world we gonna do anything with this? I mean, the minute you can't make no money doing with this. And so, but he had all these big aspirations and big dreams. Man, we can get us a building, and we can do this, and we can run this, and we can do that, and we can run out this office. Basically, he was saying that I was gonna be able to doing all this because he was out there just gonna benefit from it.
Exactly.
So make a long story short, we had to I had to eat at least $3,500 into something that really didn't work in the first place, which I could have basically done myself without having to invest in. I mean, I basically was doing it myself.
Yeah.
And I said, he didn't put a dime in it.
He didn't. I think he just had ideas.
He had ideas, but no money.
Yeah.
It's okay if you have ideas, but have some money behind those ideas. If you're gonna partner with somebody in a venture, any venture, no matter whether it's a business or in a ministry or even in a marriage, these days you have to have something. There had to be a meeting of the minds. You had to have something in common that you can say, hey, I can bring this to the table, and I have my part, you have your part. We put our parts together, we make a whole.
That's right.
And because like I say, in our case, going to relationships, in our case, she was the financier. She already had a place. I mean, I was living with my mother when I met her. I was still in my mom's house. God had to marry me out, get me out of there. And so she already had an apartment. And she was on housing and different government assistance and stuff like that because she had kids. And so I had no place to stay. I did rent one apartment my whole life by myself. And I took that from when my sister was staying. I took over the rent. And I ended up moving out and I had been pillar to the post to the time I got married. And so my life I didn't never have a chance to really just establish myself. And when I married, I didn't have a job when we were engaged. When we were engaged and when I met her, I didn't have a dime.
No.
And I wanted to marry this woman, didn't have a dime. We didn't even have money for a marriage license. And we talking about getting married. So
Yeah. It was rough for us.
yeah, it was rough start. So, but late sister-in-law, she loans the money, and we got our marriage license, and we got married. And then the week that our first week married, I got a job, and so God blessed me to be able to have a job, and I've been working ever since. And been a few times that I didn't have a job.
Yeah, I can honestly say he has been a great provider.
Yeah, I try my best.
Jesus, yeah, Jesus and him.
Jesus and me.
Yeah, Jesus and him.
Yeah, because ain't nobody else doing it. But God started blessing us. We both worked and both started working together. And so ever since then, as far as businesses go, because there was someone else that wanted to get in business with me, I was like, no. I learned one thing, and it was in our church too, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Because that kind of stuff, you have to know that this is something that, because if you don't get together, and it's a lot of stuff, having godly relationships, what I mean by having godly relationships is having relationships that are based on principles that God has set. And a lot of people, their ideas of God, and we was reading some stuff today, their ideas of God are so misconstrued. We don't really have no idea who he is. And we can't, and we apologize. I'm going to say this to all you people that have this thing with him. I want to apologize on behalf of every Christian bigot. I say Christian, I mean religious bigot. Everyone that said they're Christian, that they wasn't living the life that they said they was living, and everyone that was preaching to you, but then you looked at them and their lives didn't match up with their words. I want to apologize to you for that, because we should have been a better witness to you, so that you might be able to know the God that we've been trying to tell you about,
Right.
that we had no idea about. We're trying to tell you about a person that we don't even know about. We can't even begin to understand the type of God that we serve. But he wants us to know him. And the relationship, the most important relationship we should have is the one we have with him.
That's it.
That's the most important relationship. Other than marriage, that's the most important relationship you should have on the planet.
Yeah, that's the first one.
That's
should
the
be
very
with God,
first.
and then to your marriage,
Yeah.
and then everything else around.
Yeah, when you put those things out of order, that's where all this other stuff comes in. And the reason why we decided to do, and really, we're gonna just, when we was talking about consideration and being considerate of others, because we went through a period. we tell y'all about what we went through so that you can understand that we are not perfect.
No.
You're not talking to two people that have been there's not you're not talking to people that haven't been through anything. Put it like that.
And we don't have it all together.
No.
No, we're not that perfect. Well, we just have it all together. We don't make no mistakes, and we don't. No, we not that couple.
No, we not. And I guarantee
we learning as we go.
Yeah.
And we growing as we go.
That's it. And so, and that's what it's about. It's about us growing and going. And we had God to place the right people in your life to bring you to the next level in your life.
That's it.
You'll come across people that might you have to know why people come into your life, and that's why you have to know that if the relationship is a God thing or a man thing.
That's it.
Because a lot of times people come into your life to try to find out about you so they can undermine your life.
Exactly.
Some people come into your life because they want to invest in your life. And some people come into your life because they want to infest your life. So,
Yeah.
so what I mean is, what I say is this: when some people come into your life, they infest you. That means that they'll take all their junk, all their poison, and they place it on you, and they mess you up. Say for example, you're a woman who has had a like my wife. She has. I'm like I say, I'm not perfect, but I'm by some standards, I'm a pretty good husband. Put it like that. Some standards. Say you got a woman who has a good husband. Let's just use that example. You know, I can't use me.
He's a good husband. He's just like every other husband, flaws and shortcomings. He's a good husband.
Yeah, thank you, baby. You're a good wife. But say you got a woman that has a good husband, and he's in like her, and he provides for her, and he takes care of her, he loves her and everything, and then she has a friend who has a dog of a husband. Okay, she starts to talk to each other. You know, you women talk to each other. They talk. See, and this woman that she's talking to infests her with this poison about her husband. Make her. She talks bad about him and how he doing this and how he does that and how he does that and how he does that and how he ain't doing and what he ain't doing and what he need to do and so she hears this. Okay, this good wife hears this about this bad husband from this wife who in her own right hadn't been doing what she was supposed to do. Now she doesn't say anything to the woman. She doesn't try to encourage her. She just listens to her. But she's receiving all this poison. She goes home with all this on her, looking at a good husband who's working hard, and all of a sudden she takes all this poison and throws it onto him, and makes him think that he's like that guy.
Right.
That happens because, and that's the same way with us. Say like me, I got a good wife. I see other men, how they talk about their wife. I don't like that.
No, I don't
Number
either.
one, I do not like a man that calls his wife these euphemisms like old ball and chain, the old lady and stuff. I had to correct a woman like that. She asked me what my old lady. No, that's not my old lady. That's my wife. I had to correct the woman for saying that. Because they used to, an old lady is a term that you say when you living with someone, not when you married to them. If you married to them, you call them your wife. If you living with them, you call them your old lady because that's what they are to you, your old lady. She's not my old lady. She's my wife.
Right.
And so anyway, I told him, I said, the thing is that, like I said, I had, I got a good wife, and I go and I listen to this crap about this dude talking about his wife, talking how bad he was and she is and what she do and what she done, and I think about my wife's not like that. My wife doesn't. What I do also, I say one thing. I say I'm thankful.
Yes.
That my wife's not like that. I do. I tell them in a minute. I'm thankful that my wife is not like that, because because it's so many stereotypes of marriage. Marriage has been so destroyed over the past decade. It's been just really destroyed. The idea of marriage and the actual foundation of marriages had been, and the very structure of marriage has been rearranged and just messed. It's just been messed up.
Right, and that is so true. Even as you because I was just going to say, I'm glad you did use the word ideal, and because one thing we had to learn, dealing with consideration, that a good idea. And there's some people do have good intentions.
Yeah.
But we had to learn that just because it's a good idea and it sounds good, that don't mean that it's a God's idea.
Yeah.
So you have to learn the two. When people bringing stuff at you and bringing junk at you, you have to actually say, okay, is this God?
Yeah.
Because people throw all kind of stuff at you. If this was me, I wouldn't do that. This was me, I wouldn't take that. If this was me and this was me, But you have to be okay. That sound like a good idea, but I have to ask myself: is that God's idea for me?
Hey, Demon, how's it going? Hi, Nether Rocks. God bless y'all for joining us in Mixer. Oh, I got thanks for the follow, Nether Rocket. Thanks for the follow. So we think one of the things that, and like you say, yeah, you have to understand that one of the things that a lot of people don't get is that when you're hooked up with the right people,
Right.
whether in marriage or whether in business, whether anything, when you're hooked up with the right people, it makes it better for you in the end. Scripture talks about Ecclesiastes how two are better than one, for they have more success for their labor. Say if one fall, the other is able to raise him up. But woe to the person that falls by himself, for he has no one to lift him up. And saying that if one comes against him, two can withstand him. A threefold cord is not easily broken.
Right.
Now, the thing is that's what partnerships. When you're knit together, you can take a strand, and that's basically what it means as cord, is strand. You take a strand and you strand it together. As a matter of fact, if you take one of them, you might be able to break that one. But if you weave two or three of them together, it turns into a rope. And it's harder to break that thing if it's more strands. The more the strands, the more the strength. But if you have weak links in your life, you don't
Right,
miss it.
yeah.
If you got that weak link in your life that keeps always coming around, and you always have to help them, and you always have to support them, and you always have to encourage them, and you always have to lift them up, and they wear their feelings on your shoulders. So sometimes gamers are like that.
Yeah.
We as gamers, we get a little sensitive and we get salty about stuff, and I've raided with people, and then they get their feelings fast, and
Yes.
some of them get serious, and some of them get stupid, and they cuss one another out. And I look at this stuff, and and you have to look at the attitude as to why are you so angry? What is this, a game, dude? Why are you even doing it? So when you hook up with people, and that's why a lot of them have certain ones that they really run with, because they don't have to deal with that. Because if they get somebody from the outside, it's just going to be a mess. Like we had like I said, when I used to raid in Destiny, I had a group of guys that I used to run with, and we ran, and they did every single raid in Destiny 1. I ran with those guys. Those guys was patient with me because they were like ringers in a Discord and an LFG. So I cooked up with them, and they became friends of mine in Xbox. So I just ran with them, and they were good guys, and never had a problem with them. Never had no sight, but there was some. I had a group one time though. Them rascals made me want to put my hand around his throat if I could have reached him. And that's kind of how you feel like that. But it's not. The thing is that's why if you can hook up with the right people, and they have the right, and you're gonna have the right, you'll have the right goals, and you all have the similar goals and similar vision, you can accomplish more together.
Right.
So hold on, y'all. This thing is distracting me. Okay. So if you have the right vision, and you can, and y'all have the same goal, you can do this together, and you can accomplish more. And you won't have to worry about having to drag people along in life.
Yes, because that could be a weight. That could be. That is the greatest weight in the world, and it's a burden.
Yeah.
When you got to carry people like that, when they come, like he was saying, they it's like, they weigh down with, and then and look like they just dumped it all on your shoulders.
That's right.
All that is on your shoulders, and you feel like you got to drag them around and carry them around, because.
Yeah.
And that is like, you have people that are around you like that. That's not good.
No.
Especially if you have, like he was saying earlier, you have to encourage them. You got to do this. That is a burden.
Yeah.
That means you burden down. Now you putting all your burden on me. Now I've got to, I'm like, me and my husband always talks about this. I say, one day in your life, you should be having a good day.
Yeah. Agreed.
The sun should shine one day. It shouldn't always be raining and pouring and thundering and lightning in your life.
No.
It's
all the time.
All the time. Every time I call you down in the dumps, and you this pitiful, and you just weighing all this on my shoulder. You know, I'm like, sometimes you just want to tell people.
Yeah, you need to
Tell people,
cheer
hey,
up or something.
Yeah, you know, you want to ask a whole lot of questions, and like, baby, when the last time you talked to them?
Yeah, last time, you know.
Like, you need to put some of this on Jesus.
Yeah, because you can't carry this by yourself.
No.
And that's the thing that that's just a little bit of what we want to share with you tonight. Because we're gonna go
We
into
just giving
more.
y'all, this is basically just an introduction.
Yeah.
But what we gonna talk, we gonna really go more in depth tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we just giving y'all just an introduction on what we gonna be talking about and discussing. And if y'all have any questions and answers, you know, if y'all want to just add in and jump on in with it. But this is what we're gonna be talking about godly relationships, our relationship with God. You know, family, friends, whoever's in your life.
Yeah.
Make sure that they are God sent people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, like I say, some people in your life for all kind of reasons. And if it's not to help benefit you and you to benefit them,
Yeah.
then you might consider, you know, cutting the cords.
Yeah.
You know, and making sure that they mean you some, you know, some good. I hear people complaining all the time, and I'm like, well, why you just won't cut them loose?
That's right.
Why you just, you know, cut them loose? I have no problem at all.
Yeah.
I don't. You got to go.
Yeah.
I will get you out of my life quick. I'm still gonna love you. Still gonna praying for you. May God. My thing is may God bless and keep you on your way to wherever you going. But you getting out of my life.
Yeah. That's
So that's what we talking about. Consideration and relationships and our greatest relationship with God. But we're gonna be dealing with that, like I say, maybe on a few days this week.
Yeah.
So this is kind of introduction. We just wanna
Just kind of keep up with us on. Like I say, you can be able to keep up with us on Twitter and on Facebook also. You can also go to our website if you want to leave a question or a prayer request. It didn't pop up in the chat, but you can go to embracingmarriage.wordpress.com and we got some news. Oh God, Patriots going to the Super Bowl. Oh well, again. Anyway, we thank God for the new follows. Thank God for hey Scruffy Killer. Thank God for all you and Mixer joining us. Thank God for Nether Rocks joining us, joining the family over here. Embrace Gaming on Mixer. Thank God for each and every one of you that has come into the stream and just listen to what we had to talk about. If you're looking at us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. If you're looking at us on Periscope, hit us with some hearts and some follows. If you're looking at us also on Twitch and Mixer, you can find us with a follow. Looking at us, listening to us, we also have a audio version of this podcast. You can go to embracemarriage.podbean.com. We have an audio version of this actual podcast. We're also on Google Play and Spotify and Stitcher if you listen to any of those as well. But we're gonna get out your way
on tonight,
and we're gonna be back on tomorrow night. I'm gonna do a stream tomorrow, a gaming stream, so you can join me. I'm gonna try to get I might do a double thing tomorrow. I might do half and half. I'm gonna do both Assassin's Creeds. So I just started Origins, so I'm working backwards. So I'm gonna do a little Assassin's Creed Odyssey in the morning, probably about a couple hours of that. Then I'm gonna switch over to Origins later and finish that out. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a long stream so I can kind of have a little time with you guys and kind of tell you what's going on, and we're gonna do a lesson, whatever, if God leads. So she won't be with me until that tomorrow night. So we'll do another podcast like we do tonight, and we'll do probably since it's Monday, probably do a game into the wife. It depends. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But whatever I do, I'm gonna put it in Twitter. So follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, we don't do gaming with the wife, then we'll just continue on with this. So we'll just
we'll let you know. We'll tweet it out. Just follow us on Twitter. Twitter link is in chat now, so you can follow us there. God bless each and every one of you. We thank God for you. Check us out on different platforms. Like I say, go to our website, embracingmarriagetogether.wordpress.com.
And remember to embrace God, embrace love, embrace one another, and dare to be different.
God bless y'all. We'll see y'all on next.
Good night.